of see a little bit of the inside, not anything too instructional or useful, just a little extra stuff to look at. Thanks everybody for tuning into YAA Workshop. This video is going to be about my Mini-14 ranch rifle. I thought about sharing some of the older footage I had from an earlier video on the last channel, and then I just kind of went and did sort of a show and tell, and I thought I'll just use that footage. So I go in and I take this apart, and you can kind of see a little bit of the inside, not anything too instructional or useful, just a little extra stuff to look at. All right, check it out. So this is the Mini-14 ranch rifle. I have this scope that I've had since like the 1980s. I put it onto the ranch rifle, which is one of the Mini-14s that comes with rings, and the receiver is milled to attach the rings to it, and then you get a minimally useful peep sight. Just flip up it. Okay, it's too tall to flip up underneath this. So I guess I can show a few things. So it's got a rotating bolt, a lot like the M1 Garand that was then later developed into a full automatic version for .308 Winchester for 7.62 NATO in the M14, and the Mini-14. I think they have an AC-556 that was select fire type of Mini-14, but this is semi-auto. See, it's got a bolt hold open feature. The magazine's empty, and you have the safe under here. When the trigger is to the rear or cocked, the safe will work. And just a little bit of rearward pressure on the operating rod there, and you can reveal that you can't see the hammer. So it's safe, so you can kind of decock it fairly easily, and then you notice that the safe doesn't come on because the hammer's not cocked. So that's, let's see if we can get the view of the bolt rotating so you can see that a little bit. I think it's considered a short stroke gas piston. Cock it, safe. So you can stick a cleaning rod under that and kind of pry it open. This isn't considering kind of a how-to. So you can release that. I'm not building anything, nothing's gaining parts. Looks a lot like a M1 Garand or M14 trigger group. And then you can just usually rotate the stock off. I have a sling on it. So you can see the return spring here, and let's knock it out. So I don't know. Now that I'm looking at it, that's where the gases come out, and it pushes back on this the operating rod recoil system here. So not sure if that's a short stroke gas piston, because there's no piston that moves that throws this back. It's just the gas goes into the tube here.
So I looked up on Wikipedia after I opened this up. They call it a short stroke fixed piston.
Gas escapes this
because the gas port there looks kind of like a piston doesn't move, and the operating rod has the receptacle, so to speak, where the gas goes in.
Mini-14.
And before I read that, I thought, well, maybe it might be another form of gas impingement, but direct impingement like the AR-15, because it almost seems just like a gas port. You know, the gas comes down the gas tube into like the bulk carrier group. Like this gas comes out of the gas port right into the operating rod, but I guess I didn't look in the manual. I just went off of Wikipedia for now. But so they call it a fixed piston.
All right, before I put this all back together, there's like a metal track in here that operating rod moves back and forth. And, you know, I'm just wondering, because that'll slide back further. It'll leave the end of the gas port, and then it'll be just retained by this and some of the action where the bolt's moving. So when it's unlocking, I wonder if that's where any of the little wobbliness comes from that might contribute to some of the maybe possible inaccuracies. A lot of people kind of complain about it's not been a super accurate firearm for them. I know some people, there's some companies that have some aftermarket parts that help with the, I think the stability and the harmonics of the barrel. But I'm just kind of like looking at that, like when I was showing it in the other part, when I move it back, I was wanting to pop out of there. But when it's in the stock, it's in a track. But it leaves the gas port, and then there's really nothing guiding it except for that track and the receiver where the bolt is rotating back and forth in. So I want to see if I could squeeze the trigger guard back to lock the trigger group in. So you can do that, or you can just take the like a rod or something and kind of pry it back in or out, and then squeeze it in and then let it go. All right, so there you go. A little bit of show and tell with my Mini-14 ranch rifle. One last thing about it, I guess the serial number, I guess it's a 188 series. So I guess the Mini-14 throughout the years has gone through different series, and I think a lot of people refer to like the first 3 digits of the serial number relates to different series. So mine's a 188. I got it in 1995. Not really sure when it was manufactured, but I think some of those 180s or might go back to like the 90s. I got it new, but not really sure how old it was. You know, at the time I got it at a gun show down in North Carolina. All right, thanks for watching.